So, a little while back, I started realizing that I wasn't a kid anymore. There's that moment for all of us, I think. The moment when we realize, oh, I'm not going to be, you know, 10 for my whole life. Now that I'm having my own kids and everything, I'm starting to realize that how you treat your body is extremely important. So, as a step in this direction, I've been trying to get healthier. This has to do with exercising and being more active, and also being careful as to what I eat. And one of the first things I started to realize in studying and watching videos and all this different stuff is that sugar is extremely important to pay attention to. So if you're like me, you probably or at least me before, you probably don't pay attention to what you eat and how much. You just think, I'm going to eat till I'm full. And, you just eat whatever sounds good. Oh, well, what sounds good? Well, let's go get some fast food, or let's go do that. I don't feel like cooking, or whatever. Um, and, well, there's a lot of different wrong ideas about, it's too expensive to cook at home. I don't have time to cook at home. There's a lot of just misperceptions there that aren't true, but we think that they're true, and so we just kind of accept that. Before you get defensive, we've got 5 kids. Me and my wife both work, and we hardly ever eat out. So there's that. But this video isn't about saving your time, how to be efficient with your time and how you cook and all. It's not about that. Well, let's get back onto sugar. Sugar is a much simpler step. So, a lot of times we just don't really pay attention to what we're eating, how much we're eating, all that kind of stuff. And, we get something, even when we try and be healthy, like, oh, I'm going to get this juice. That sounds like it's healthy. But if you actually look at the back and the stuff that's in it, you'll realize very quickly not so healthy. When you pick up a fruit juice and it says something like 63 grams of sugar or something, it's like, wow. Wow, it's just a lot of sugar for your body to process. And if you're used to drinking things like sodas and stuff, you don't. Your body learns to compensate, and you don't realize even how rough it really is, on your body. And a lot of times people do something like this. Oh, well, I drink diet soda. Okay, and I eat diet turds. Anyways, there comes a point when you have to start being more intentional with what you're eating. And I'll just give you a few quick examples. We get coffees, right? Because there's this kind of idea, like, if I don't have my coffee, I'm going to die, which sounds to me like an addiction, but whatever. So then when we get our coffees, first off, we get them from coffee shops instead of just making them ourselves. And this costs a lot of money. You think, oh, it's only $3 here, $3 there, or depending on where you live, maybe it's more. But the thing is, those little purchases all add up. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get paid by the day, hundreds of dollars or whatever, however much you get paid. When you get paid, it's like, well, you get paid, once or twice a month or whatever, and then you've got your coffee bill that accumulates every single day. So, I mean, it might not seem like it's a big deal, but it is. So it's a big expense. Then the second problem that comes up is that when we get our coffees, we don't just have coffee. We always put like sugar or creamer or whatever in it. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. And then there's the thing about different drinks have different acidity levels. I'm sorry about that. Acidity. Some drinks are more acidic than others. Let's just say it the easy way. Anyways, and you might, oh, well, it's not that much. But when you start taking tally of how much you're putting in your body just during the given day, it really starts to add up. And then you add to the fact that most people don't drink as much water as they're supposed to be drinking. And so it's not able to be flushed through your system. It kind of has your body not work as well as it could be working. And, makes it where you don't feel as good and that kind of stuff. So instead of drinking water, we've got all this stuff with all these different additives and stuff in it, which it's like, oh, well, one isn't that big of a deal. But the problem is when everything that you put into your body, you keep asking your body to well, take one for the team. I'm going to get fast food and it's going to be okay even though I haven't worked out today. Even though I've had a lot of sugary stuff today, it's totally fine. It's like, no, it's not fine. Like, that's just really hard on your system. It's going to make you feel like crap. And the problem is when you eat it and it doesn't make you feel sick, because that should warn you, like, whoa, this should be making me feel sick. If my body's already adapting to this, putting this nasty stuff in my body, what am I doing wrong? Another area is juice. We think that if that all juices are equal, right? If it says juice, then it's good for you. Well, you'd be surprised how much sugar a lot of juices have. And when it says like 2% fruit juice, that's probably not real great either. when you get a juice and it says artificial this and artificial that, or when it says, all natural sugars, but then you look at how much sugar is in that one juice thing, and it's like 60 grams of sugar. That's way more than your body can process. Another thing that we don't really take into account is sauces. Sauces, like if you get Chinese food or that kind of stuff, like the sweet and sour sauce, the orange sauce, those sauces have a crazy ton amount of sugar in them, and it's not great to constantly be putting that kind of stuff into your body because well, I mean, I shouldn't even have to argue that point. We all know that sugar is bad. At least in massive quantities. Another thing that people don't think about is soda. You have a soda or two, and maybe even when you eat out or whatever, you get a cup of the large one because I saved money, even though it's really cutting down on your body's health, which is going to cost you more money and time. Oh, well, I saved money, and then we get a refill. Like that's a big thing. Let's top it off before we leave. Less so now that people are kind of not eating in restaurants because of quarantine and all that, but still a thing. Sodas have an extreme amount of caffeine in them and sugar in them and just a bunch of stuff that your body really can't do much with. And it's just not great to be drinking that. So those are just 4 really simple things that we don't even think about, but usually have insane amounts of sugar in them. Now, obviously, we all know the different negative effects of too much sugar. Sugar has been linked with cancer, emotional and mental problems, weight problems. Really, just there's a lot of things that sugar has been known to exacerbate pre-existing conditions. Just a lot of different things that we know that it's not good, and yet we still do it. So. Let me say a few more things, okay? First off, there's a difference in sugar between naturally occurring sugar and added sugar. Now, typically, if you have to choose one, it's better to do a naturally occurring sugar than added sugar. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. I really don't want to get into it, but just think of it as a healthier sugar. That's good enough let's make this simple. I'm not a doctor. If you want a more doctor, opinion or however they phraseology, you can read many of the papers that are out there. And don't look for one paper that says, no, sugar is good for you. Eat lots of sugar. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. So there's different ways that sugar occurs, naturally or added. And if you have to pick one, always pick natural. But just because it's a natural sugar doesn't mean you can have a crap ton of it, okay? Then there's a difference between your body size and your sex. So I'm not actually going to tell you how many grams of sugar that you should have in your diet because typically you're going to have to constantly be on your guard everything that you eat to try and get as little sugar as humanly possible. And that's going to be kind of hard because of some foods that are converted into sugar, and then some foods that are already sugary and stuff. So you're going to have to really do a lot of homework here. And I don't want to do that for you because, like I said, it's going to be different for your different body size, for your different sex. Typically, a man's body can handle more sugar than a woman's body. I know, sexist, right? But then there's that. So a lot of these things you have to relearn how to deal with it. You have to start looking at the sugar content before you drink and eat. You have to start being more intentional about what you're eating and when you're eating and how much you're eating and all these different things. You're going to have to get used to that homemade taste that maybe isn't quite as rewarding when you eat it. And it's going to maybe even make you sick when you try and get rid of the sugar of your system because your body's going to be like, whoa! And it's going to be difficult, I'm not going to lie, because you have to be more conscious about stuff, and you have to get used to that flavor of it tastes like everything's flavorless. And so you just, you kind of, I really, really want that. And you can have the cravings. Oh, I need this, I need this. But if you just stick with it, cut down your sugar, and drink lots of water, lots of water. Maybe go with unsweetened tea, and besides black tea. Okay, black tea is like, there's lots of other teas besides black and herbal, okay? There's oolongs and greens and all kinds of wonderful things out there. Uh, and then maybe try your coffee with black, or maybe, if you can't get rid of it all at once, try just doing less, limiting it, being more conscious about it. Hey, how much sugar have I had today? Keep a running tab. Find out how much sugar you should have in your diet for your body size and sex, and then try to get less than that. Try to get as least as you can. And I hope that this is helpful for you. Like I say, I'm not a doctor. I am a guy who's trying to be more healthy, and this is one of the very first stops that I made. I've seen people cut out soda from their life and drop a bunch of weight. People who I know personally. I know that when I stopped drinking sugar, I felt a lot. I'm sorry, sodas. I felt a lot better. Now, obviously, you really can't have a sugar-free diet because sugar is like in everything, and your body converts some things to sugar. But there's certain ways to deal with it where your body can process it a lot easier and where it won't be so detrimental. It's like saying I'm going to go air-free. You can't go air-free. Air is everywhere. You're always going to be breathing. There's nothing you can do about it. Like bread. Roll bread has sugar. I know, right? Bread's pretty bland. You would think, oh, whatever. But then, even then, bread is converted, so it's like, oh man. A lot of your things like that, you're gonna not even think about it. So, I'm gonna be doing these videos about different things with eating healthy and with exercise, to try and help you, because I'm trying to be healthy, not just for my kids, but hopefully for my grandkids. I hope to live that long, and that's one of my motivators for getting healthy. So I'll have more videos, just as a way of trying to talk through what I'm going through, and maybe in the process helping you. So okay, I'll see ya.